Hey everyone, it's Ryan. Here in Rockland, we just made it off the bus. Here with my roommate Cam. um, so I'll be doing my speech from the hotel here because I can't make it to class tomorrow because of our games, obviously. So I hope you guys like my speech. So tobacco use has been a huge problem in the U.S. for centuries. I mean, people have been using it forever, and especially nowadays with all the medical research that comes out about like big tobacco and all of the tactics they use to try to get to the youth and everyone. It's a huge problem right now in the United States, and here's some pretty shocking statistics that go along with how rampant the tobacco problem is. So we have 6 million deaths per year worldwide, stemming from smoking tobacco, not any of the other methods, just smoking. And then in the US alone, we have 480,000 deaths per year, and that equates to 1,300 deaths per day. So that's 1,300 people dying per day from smoking tobacco alone. So, in addition to the 480,000 deaths per year in the US, there's also 16 million Americans that are currently living with a disease that stemmed from smoking tobacco. This can be anything from cancer to heart disease to other lung issues, not including lung cancer, and then COPD as well. So I chose this topic because it's one that's very close to my family and I. My grandfather actually had lung cancer when I was about 5 years old because he smoked too many cigarettes in his life. So this is why I chose this topic to spread awareness to those around me, just so they don't have to go through the same thing with their loved ones or themselves, even if they're a tobacco user. One of the statistics that shocked me the most was in fiscal year 2018, the United States will collect $27.5 billion from tobacco tax and legal settlements in revenue, and only 721.6 million of that money, which is less than 3%, will go to prevention and cessation programs, tobacco prevention and cessation programs, that is. To me, this is the biggest issue because we're only using less than 3% of that $27.5 billion to try and help people stop their addictive habits. We're not using this money for educational purposes on tobacco, and we're not using this money to help people stop using tobacco in the first place. So, where is all this money going from the tax revenue? Um, I believe that more of this revenue should go towards programs that help people with addictive problems like this that are just fueling the fire with the tobacco issue. I think the solution to battling big tobacco is that we need to pressure our local governments to use more of that money collected from tobacco taxes and legal settlements in order to educate the youth about not using tobacco and prevention and cessation programs for tobacco, just so that hopefully our next generation doesn't or isn't as addicted to tobacco as ours is right now, because there's way too many deaths and diseases happening right now from the amount of tobacco use going on in the United States. So I think if we can use that money um, for a more positive solution, like education programs for the youth, that would be a good first step. So, in addition to using the tax revenue for more positive purposes, we should also start backing organizations like thetruth.org. They are actually the ones that put those anti tobacco commercials out. You've probably seen them on TV from time to time. They have random facts about the tobacco companies, what tobacco does to your health, to what tobacco does to other people's health around you when you use those products. So they are an overall really good, just knowledgeable, fact-based organization that you can look to for info about tobacco. I think we need to start supporting more organizations like thetruth.org, because when we get more of these companies out there that are informing adults and youth alike about tobacco and the harmful um, side effects that you can get from using it, I think that's when we're really going to start to build enough momentum to combat the big tobacco companies. Once we get the money being spent on more positive things like prevention programs, and at the same time, you're putting knowledge out there to the general public about the dangerous effects that tobacco can have, I think that's when you're really going to start to see some positive effects on getting the next generation to stop smoking tobacco and using tobacco products. So I just showed some pictures from the truth.org's website. As you can see, they have a petition that you can sign saying that you'll go smoke free or tobacco free, so you can start that trend. And they also have a whole, that last picture doesn't really show it justice, but on the Get the Facts page, they just have like tons and tons of random facts about tobacco, health related ones, about the companies in general, about secondhand smoke. You can go on there and look up almost anything about the tobacco industry and the negative effects that it has on the public. If we do nothing about the tobacco problem that's going on in the US right now, then our next generation is also going to be tobacco users as well. Whether it is through the use of cigarettes, chewing tobacco, Juuls, Swishers, cigars, anything like that, that's they're still going to be around, and they're still going to be affecting our youth and the next generation coming up. And we'll continue to see thousands of deaths and millions more people that are sick from tobacco-related illnesses and causes of death. Personally speaking, I have a lot of teammates out at Mission College that use chewing tobacco, which can lead to mouth and lip and throat cancer, which is all terrible, terrible things to go through. So I really would like to see this anti-tobacco campaign pick up, because I don't want my teammates to be doing this stuff forever, because sooner or later it catches up to you down the road. And I just hope that there eventually will be smart enough with more knowledge out there to stop using tobacco products. If you would like to combat this issue and take action on it, the biggest thing that you can do is to get you and your friends to stop buying tobacco products, because when we give money to these tobacco companies, that's what's fueling their advertising and their ability to get to the youth and the people of the United States, because they have the money to pay for advertising and pay the government for support from them as well. So if we can get to the root of the problem and just not spend money on it in the first place, then that would be a huge first step. If you'd like to take additional action on this issue, you can go to thetruth.org and look up all the negative facts that they give you about the tobacco industry and all the negative health effects that it has on the human body. And you can start telling other people about why they shouldn't be using tobacco if you see someone that you know doing it, because that way not only are you stopping them from harming themselves health-wise, you're also stopping them from supporting the issue, which is paying big tobacco companies in the first place for their products. Thank you all for listening to my presentation today, and I hope that you learned a lot about why you shouldn't be using tobacco products. I hope that you guys use the information that I gave you and use it to spread awareness to other people on why they shouldn't be supporting big tobacco companies. I'm going to leave you off with a few photos here that I hope will stray you away from using tobacco in the future if you are a user right now. Thank you again for listening, and I hope you guys have a good weekend.